We got third gear, got runway. Let's go. Golly!
You must be wide open all the time.
Oh, alrighty, everybody. It's Turbo Hayabusa time. Man, it is such a treat when I get to ride this thing. I only ride it about once a month, if you guys can believe it. Kind of sits in the front of the shop for about one time out of the month. I'll have to be able to take it outside. Otherwise, kind of just sits there in the front of the shop as the beautiful heirloom that it is. But boy, it is so good jumping on this machine and just being absolutely face melted with what it can do. So let's start it up, shall we, baby? Every time. That's what you get when you professionally build something. That's pretty good. So for today's video, kind of want to talk about my plans with this bike a little bit. Talk about another bike that I'm going to get that's similar to this bike. But I'm only doing it in this video so that the true fans who watch the Turbo Hayabusa vlogs can know what's coming. Because guys, we got something big coming. We got something real big coming down the pipe. Probably late 2022, early 2023. Got some big plans for it. Got to talk about the other bike that I'm going to get. The only bike to get that would even come close to a Turbo Hayabusa. But man, it's just so good to be out on this thing. Doing some pulls with it, ripping it around. Nothing feels quite like this machine. Nothing. We've got the Street Fighter V4S, and yeah, that's plenty fast, but oh, the torque this thing makes. The 160 foot-pounds and the 270 wheel horsepower really evokes all the squid demons coming out in force on this thing. Gonna have to go and jump on the highway with it. Do not want to be on these side streets with such a powerful bike. Probably should have checked tire PSI before I left, but it is what it is now. Maybe it's a little low, just give me a little bit more grip. It's all good, guys. Don't worry. I'll be fine. That temperature sitting right in the middle. God, I'm so happy I got this thing like fully professionally built. It would have worked with the hodgepodge build we did with it. But I'm really glad that we went through, talked to Lance Davis, the Turbo Hayabusa wizard, got this thing all sorted. And now it's just so ready to go, man. It's so nice. It looks like a hunk of junk, and that is definitely part of my plans with it in the future, is to kind of clean up the looks of this bike a little bit, make it not look like a giant Duracell battery, and maybe make it look like a true Hayabusa. I'd love to spec it in white. I love white bikes, and I love the look of the white Hayabusas in particular. I think they're super cool. So I would not mind taking this thing to some custom shop and getting them to do it all up in white. Maybe what I've always wanted to do with it is to remove the original Busa fairing and do something a little more streamlined, maybe like some LED slits up at the front, kind of work with the lines around the bike. But I also think it's sacrilege to take away the classic Busa shape. It is hilarious how much of a straight line bike this thing is. Wow, man. God, that never gets old. Especially when you don't do it that often. Woo! That was nothing. Guys, you gotta own something like this, man. It doesn't have to be a Turbo Busa because that's so dumb. But you gotta own a super fast bike at some point in your life. You don't have to keep it forever. But man, it's so special owning something that can do that whenever you want. But I don't recommend it for anyone under the age of 25, probably. I'm turning 30 this year, and I feel like I'm just barely responsible enough to ride this thing. So, yeah, looking to up the looks a little bit on this thing, make it look super proper and premium. Get the exterior of this bike to really match the interior of the motor build. Because, I mean, this motor cost me almost $20,000, roughly, all told, everything into it. So I'd love some more carbon on this thing. I'd love to really kind of flesh it out and really get this build looking perfect. But also, at some point, I do need to experiment with race gas and upping the boost. I know you guys have been asking for it. You've never ridden this thing, so it's unconscionable to me that it could be even faster. But I think at some point we got to experiment. We got to get ourselves a big old barrel of C16, up the boost, see what she'll do, see if we can get an absolute monster of a 60 to 210 bike. I'm never gonna do any street racing with it. I think that stuff is really quite dangerous and really not what you want to be doing. But to be able to enjoy it just on my own, I really like it. I really, really do. So we're heading up here to a nice wide open highway so we can get in some nice pulls on this thing. But while we wait for that, I would love to tell you guys a little bit about the plans. So I've decided that for 2023, we're gonna buy quite a few motorcycles. We're gonna buy about 4 or 5 different bikes to use for the year for content, not for giveaway bikes, but to use for the year for content. And one of those bikes I'm gonna buy, even though they are outrageously priced at the moment, is the Kawasaki H2. I want to experience something like 650 Eves fully built H2. I want to build something like that. I would love to buy a Kawi H2, take it up to the boys at Brock's, get them to flash it, tune it, get that ridiculous 300 plus wheel horsepower, linear supercharged power, and just have something that is ridiculous. And one of the reasons I want to do that is because, number one, I personally really do want to experience the power of, you know, a supercharged H2. I've experienced the ZH2, but the H2 itself is a little bit different in that it, you know, it's tuned a little bit differently. You can get a ton of power out of it. I know the ZH2s were recently unlocked, but I think a built H2 next to my Turbo Busa would just be so sick, wouldn't it? Yeah, baby. But yeah, I really think that those two bikes would just really complement each other, and I'd love to see them at the front of my shop, both just hanging there, absolute weapons of speed and squiddery. Really matches the feel of the channel. So I'm really excited. I think in the next couple of months I'm going to start researching it and then finding a dealer, buying it, picking it up, then probably taking it immediately to the boys over at Brock's, getting it all sorted, and then just having fun with the thing, man. Making a ton of content with it, because I know that an H2 would be great for content, really great for the channel. I think it'd be super exciting to have one for a year and develop it and test it and do stuff with it. Probably take it on track just to poop my pants. Try to take it to the drag strip, because here's the thing, I know a lot of you wanted to see this bike at the drag strip, and to be quite honest, guys, because this has no electronics, it's not set up as a drag bike. This is a roll race street bike. I am honestly, I would just say it, I'm afraid to take it to the drag strip. I don't think I have the skill set, nor the ability, nor the testicular fortitude to launch this thing in first gear, nor will I think it hook up in first gear. I really don't think it will hook up at all in first gear, and it's just going to be a total tire fire with this thing. But I mean, obviously the guy who built my bike has a fully set up, built drag Turbo Hayabusa, but I've never had aspirations of doing a drag strip build with this thing. It's a fun street roll race bike, and that's kind of what it's designed to do for me. And I like it for that reason, so I'm never going to do that with it. But the H2, I feel like you can do some serious damage to that thing. It's got launch control, wheelie control. All you got to do is pin the throttle and dump the clutch, as far as I understand. I've seen some videos of guys doing it, and it seems very exciting and probably terrifying to have a bike with 300 plus horsepower underneath you and to just dump the clutch in first gear and just hope that it hooks up and you'll be able to do it. But I guess that's what you trust the electronics for. I guess so. Ah, what a joy it is to ride this thing. What a great palate cleanser. You can ride anything you want, and then you jump on this Turbo Hayabusa, and it redefines everything you thought you knew about speed. I genuinely wish, and I make these videos just so you guys can experience it with me, but I really wish that you could experience the might of this bike in person and ride it, but that would be a liability disaster, I think. God, it just piles on speed like it's nothing. It's crazy. I'm just so impressed with how this thing performs and how reliable it is and how consistent it is. It doesn't do anything weird. Lance did such a great job on this bike. I'm so happy with it. I'm so thrilled with it. It works beautifully. It's a turnkey Turbo Hayabusa. Are you kidding me? What more could you want? What on earth more could you want? I do wish I had mirrors. I do want that. So maybe when I clean this build up a little bit, I'll actually put some bar end mirrors and be able to see where the hell I'm going. Yes, I'm a Turbo Hayabusa simp. Yep, that's me. That's happened to me. Oh, for those of y'all who aren't here in Austin, this is, I think, the Tesla, one of the Tesla factories they have here. Huge facility. It's crazy. I swear to God, if I get pulled over on this bike, it's going to be for me coming down on speed because I cruise at like 100 on it. That was like a $170. Jeez. I gotta find a mile-long strip with this thing and just open it up. Good God. Man, I'm cruising at 100 right now. It feels like I'm going 50. I love the Hayabusa for that reason. It's so stable. So stable at those speeds. It doesn't feel darty at all. I mean, a stock boost, it feels like that. And it's crazy. You add the turbo, it's like it's nothing. Get that front wheel to float a little bit. Gotta keep your wits about you, man. Gotta keep your wits about you on this thing. Man, I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot of car boys commenting on the Turbo Hayabusa videos with their 700-800 horsepower cars or whatever. I don't care what you drive, dude. I don't care what you drive. The feeling that this thing gives me is absolutely visceral, man. Visceral motorcycle. Never felt speed like this, ever. So much fun, dude. God, this is insane. It's insane that I have this. Why do I have this? Why is this allowed? We got third gear, got runway. Let's go. Golly! Woo! Nothing quite like this bike, baby. Nothing quite like it, man. I think I'm gonna do one more pull and I'm gonna call it a day. Don't want to push my luck. Let's go. Wow. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, dude. This video is literally just you guys watching an addict taking hits off his favorite drug. Yeah, buddy. Ain't nothing to it but a Turbo Busa, baby. And no cops on this road either. I got lucky. Yeah, check that out. Tesla Road. Freaking Tesla giant factory over here. Alright guys, hope you had fun on this month's Turbo Hayabusa vlog. Got some plans for this bike, got some really cool plans with the H2 in the future. Guys, keep in touch, you're not going to want to miss it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you watching. We'll catch you in the next one. See you later. Yeah!
Well, look at you. You've made it to the end of another Yami Noob video. You should consider yourself pretty lucky because I have curated this one right over here for you to continue watching. It's probably just as good as the one you just saw. Unless you hated the one you just saw. I don't know, maybe leave me a comment down below about how much you hated it as well too. Or just keep watching this one. Make sure you keep watching Yami Noob. Don't forget to keep watching Yami Noob. That's the most important thing. Keep watching Yami Noob.